Hello everybody, welcome to Excel with Chad. Today we're going to learn more about index and match. Index and match is a combination of two lookup functions where you're able to return the value of a desired column by searching for a reference value in a search reference column. If you missed my earlier video tutorial about VLOOKUP, you can click on the card on the top right corner of the link in the description for the tutorial of the VLOOKUP. Before we discuss index and match together, let's go through what index function is about. Index function is a type of lookup function that returns the value of the reference cell according to the row and column number. To use the index function, what I have to do is to insert the equal sign followed by index and a parenthesis. The first argument in the index function is the reference area. It could be a single row array, it could be a single column array, or it could be any kind of matrix. So if I use a single column array, so what I'm going to insert is, for example, this single column array. And in this case, I only need to insert the row reference number. So as you can see here, I close it with the parenthesis because I only need two arguments in this. So once I close this, you can see that row reference number 5 would give me apple. So as you can see here, I'm getting apple. To use the single row array, what I can do is I can do the same thing, but in this case, I will insert a different array. So if I insert the array of row number 1, so what will happen is, let's say, for example, I can do one of two things. So the first thing I can do is I can insert the null value or 0 value in the row number. And then once I enter the comma, I will see the column number being activated. So if you see that it is actually in a square bracket because it is an optional field. So in this case, I will insert the column reference number 3, which is in I8. So once I've done that, then I will close this parenthesis and I will get the name of the salesperson. In this case is Reed. Of course, there is also another way to do this, which is I'm going to insert index followed by the same reference area. And in this case, I will insert the comma and followed by the column reference number into the row number argument. So in this case, what I will get is I will still get the same item or value. So in this case, it's actually the same. Of course, lastly, we will attempt something else, which is to use the matrix reference method for index. So in this case, I will still follow the same set of rules, which is equal sign followed by the index and parentheses. I will insert an array. So in this case, I'm actually using from a 5x16 matrix. Once I insert the comma, I will insert the row reference number 5 and I will follow it with a comma and row reference number 3. So in this case, I will see this returning Alex, which is here. So to actually test this out, I can actually change this from Alex to Sokong. And you can see this is actually going to change this value. To move on into match, we're going to learn more about match. The match function is another type of lookup function where it returns the reference number in an array based on the search criteria that you designated. So in this case, if I were to demonstrate to you, I'm going to insert the equal sign followed by match and an open parenthesis. And in this case, what will happen is I will insert the first thing, which is my lookup value or my search criteria, followed by a comma and the lookup array. And the lookup array in this case, I want is the search column. So in this case, I'm actually going to look up avocado, and avocado falls somewhere in this particular column. So I will actually have this. Followed by this, I will have the match type. And in this case, I will insert the exact match. Once I've done so, I will close this parenthesis and I will get number 8. The reason you get number 8 is because you see avocado being here. For example, if I am going to search for watermelon, and the first value that I see is going to be number 6. So if you see here, there are multiple values of watermelon. And watermelon, there's actually 3. So it will return number 6, which is the first watermelon value that it encounters. So that would be the match function. Something to take note of the match function is that if, for example, the second argument is actually not a single column array or a single row array, you cannot do something like this. Insert the second array, something like this. What will happen is going to be an error value. So match will only be able to give you either A or either be like this, or it will only be able to return you something that looks like this. So in this case, if you see, watermelon is actually the second item in this particular array, even though it is a single row array instead of a single column array. The next item we are going to do is we are going to combine index and match. So to combine both functions, we will start with the parent function, which is index. Now, once you have completed the parentheses for index, what you do is you are going to insert the reference area for your return value. So in this case, I can insert, let's say, for example, in this case, I want to return the salesperson. So I will insert the column for the salesperson, and then I will follow it with a parent comma before I insert the second argument. The second argument in our previous example is the row reference number. However, to replace the row reference number, I'm going to use the match function. And in this case, I will actually insert my search criteria as with our previous example on match. So search criteria followed by my search column and followed by exact match. So once I close my match function, I also have to close my index function. So from here, I will actually be able to replicate the VLOOKUP experience. So if you see here, over here, I have a reference VLOOKUP function that you can see here. This is actually the VLOOKUP function. And this is actually my index and match function. What is the benefit of using index match? The main benefit of using index match is that it is far more flexible compared to the VLOOKUP function. A simple example would be like, for example, if I add a column between the item and salesperson over here, what you will see is that my reference value is now no longer the salesperson, but the reference of category. Because if you see here in VLOOKUP is actually number 3, and over here, number 3 is referring to fruits after adding the column. So this is one of the key limitations of VLOOKUP function. As with the other limitation of VLOOKUP function compared to index match is that VLOOKUP function only allows the search criteria to the left of the return value. Index match, I can actually take this and I can actually paste this to the right of index value, and it will still be perfectly fine. So you can see here, my index match function will still return me the right value, but my VLOOKUP function no longer gives me the right value. So this is one of the limitations of VLOOKUP functions against index and match. So this is where XLOOKUP function comes into the picture. Starting from Excel 2021 and up, as well as Microsoft 365, you would be able to access the XLOOKUP function. We will be covering XLOOKUP function in a separate video. How useful is this information to you? Will this help you personally or professionally? Let me know in the comments below. Please share this with someone who might benefit from this video. To see more videos like this, like and subscribe. Bye-bye.